E360 TV proudly presents messages of inspirational stories. Live streaming now to millions of devices, including Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, YouTube Live, Facebook Live, with your host, Donna and Jim, producer and host, Jim Grant, producer and host, along with Michaela Vidal, administrator and host, and Gaia Ginwa Balconi Wada, editor-in-chief.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Messages of Inspirational Stories. We are live in Tomball, Texas. Jim, this has been fun, huh?
It really has, and I've really got to be on good behavior today because we got Mr. Emmerson Brantley upstairs in some closet to cut down on the echoes, so the voice is not going to be our normal quality. So
right?
we're going to apologize for that.
Guy is here.
Yeah,
and she'll just cut you right out of the show if you misbehave.
And you talk about some thump therapy. I'm this close to thump therapy, so I got to be on good behavior.
Absolutely.
Oh, this has been a tremendous opportunity for us. Mm-hmm. And I just wish everyone here, Donna, they could actually experience the gut feeling
right
that we're experiencing with this whole event. And you know what the secret is, folks? What we're doing is bigger than we are.
Mm-hmm.
So many people in business, Donna, they're always working about, well, I got to tell people what I do. I got to sell this. I got to sell that.
Okay.
So what?
Big deal.
Yeah. You're always talking about yourself. But when you get a cause that's bigger than you, and this is something that Emmerson taught us and works with us, and this is the direction we're going in. When you have a cause that's bigger than you, mm-hmm. then you can attract like-minded people who believe in that cause, support that cause. And, I don't look at them as being clients. I look at them as being marketing partners and soulmates in business. That's a good way to put it.
It is. And the energy has to be there.
Oh, yeah.
The energy has to be there. The energy, the integrity, the overall everything in balance for everybody. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of funny. We were talking about that a little bit last night at dinner about how when energy is not balanced, it's sort of like a washing machine that is off balance, and you hear it no matter where you are in the house, right? You're washing a blanket and mm-hmm. it's too much on one side and that drum is spinning out of balance. It goes bam, bam, bam. Mm-hmm. But when everything's in perfect harmony, it spins together effortlessly.
It sure does, Donna. And we keep adjusting the camera here, having both of us on there. And we know the voice quality is not that good, so we apologize for that. But we're on the scene, and my voice quality is not that good. Trying to adjust that. But we're here in Tomball, Texas. We're getting ready to live stream Marty Haggard's special event.
Mm-hmm. Tomorrow.
Yeah, and just check it out at eventbrite.com. Just Google Marty Haggard.
Yep. May
5th. We're going to be there. We're live streaming it.
Right.
And, if you decide that we'd love for you to join us, online at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central Time. You can live stream it on your device.
So it'd be 6 p.m.
It'd be 6 p.m. Mountain and 5 p.m. Pacific Coast.
Right.
She's testing me.
I am.
Yeah.
He's doing okay so far.
Yeah. But we're having a lot of fun because what makes that such a wonderful event is the fact that this past, on Saturday, April the 23rd, we were on primetime TV. Mm-hmm. Some of you may have seen it. And we had guests on there from the VFW because I'm a lifetime member of the VFW.
Mm-hmm. My father was.
Yeah. And Donna's father served in, I believe it was Korea, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. And he was a retired colonel, Air Force career soldier. I spent 31 years in
My son James has continued to march. I'm retired as a master sergeant. He's getting promoted to master sergeant. He's been to multiple tours of duty over in Afghanistan and Iraq. He was awarded the Bronze Star in Iraq. So we got skin in the game. We have a reason. We have a cause. And that cause is to be able to help our veterans out there, especially the ones that's been used and abused and forgotten about.
Right.
As a Vietnam veteran, no one has to explain that to me.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's so important that we reach out and help, because, you know, we all hear it, the 22 veterans a day, right? We all hear it. But it's up to us. We can all make a small, small difference. And that's what we're hoping to do here at Messages of Inspirational Stories.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, was our whole reason behind doing really this live event, so that we can, first of all, we can bless everybody with Marty's music, right?
Oh,
Marty is amazing. And he is just as sweet as can be. But we want to be able to help the veterans.
Yes.
We want to be able to help the veterans and help make a difference in their life.
Yes, because what we're doing with the VFW, we're working with them in harmony to be able to get their message out, because there's a lot of veterans out there who need help. We're going to have Chris Blevins is going to be joining us tomorrow.
Right. And his wife.
Yeah. Now, Chris Blevins' story, this is what happened on the TV show. I'm going to bring Emmerson on because he's sitting there very patiently, and he's stuck in my bedroom. So we got to get him out as quick as we can because this big open house that we're in, this Airbnb, there's a lot of echo there. Chris Blevins, we had on our TV show on that Saturday night. Chris Blevins' story, it was shocking.
Right.
And we had problems. We could not down or upload the entire 3-minute video. It was past the limit of what StreamYard, which we broadcast on E360, can take in their system.
Their bandwidth.
Yeah. And so then I told Chris before the show, I said, hey, man, would you be kind enough to share your story? I didn't want to hit him cold turkey. He says, oh, no problem. His story was he's given so much to this country, and when he comes back, the reality of life hits him. And we all, everybody has served in the military, especially in a combat zone. When they come home, it's a shock of reality. For you folks that's never served, you know good and well, when you go away to college, you come back home.
Nothing's the same.
Time did not stand still for you, okay? So you can imagine when you come from a combat zone and experiencing, you know, the harshness of combat, the loss of life, the injury, the threat of injury and death. It just amplifies it that much more.
Right.
That's how PTSD sets in. And he was in that, and he had run in some hard times. As he put it in the show, he says, I went from a so-so motel to a lesser motel to now this lesser motel, and now I don't have to build any money anymore to pay the bills, so we're going to be homeless. He's sitting in his car. He reaches into the glove compartment. He pulls out a pistol, and he's thinking, the life insurance will at least give my fiance, who is now his wife, and my son, at least provide for them something that I can't provide.
Right.
This is the war that's going in within him.
Right.
This is the demon he is wrestling with. And for some reason, he looks up towards the door of the motel room. His fiance opens the door, got their son with him. And he says, I can't do this. I can't put them through this. He puts the gun away. He goes in. And then she says, you got a letter today from the VFW. He doesn't know what's going on, so he opens it.
Talk about blessings.
Talk about providence.
Right.
In that letter was a check.
From the unmet needs
Program of the VFW. Then you can't script this on a TV show. I'm not that smart. Donna is, but I'm dumber than a box of rocks.
till the start.
Guess I'm enjoying myself, Hush. But guess who was on the show with us, who actually sent the letter with the check, was a gentleman by the name of Lynn Rolfe, R-O-L-F, the third. He is director of programs over unmet needs. He was on the TV show. And I'm back there, I'm typing him, because he's sitting backstage. I'm there, you ready? Come on. Because that energy. But see, that's the way that you become successful in life. Look for that bigger cause.
Look outside yourself.
Amen. Donna, take it away.
But you do. You have to look outside yourself, because if you look only at yourself, then you'll never grow. You'll never expand. And when you bless somebody else, the blessings come back to you tenfold.
Amen.
Absolutely tenfold.
And we've got a gentleman upstairs. He's got his hat on. I think. He's got his bolo tie on. And for all of you young folks that don't know what a bolo tie is, Mr. Emmerson Brantley, let's welcome him to the show. Bolo tie, cowboy hat, and everything. Here he is. Hello, sir.
Well, howdy, ma'am. Howdy, partner. I came ready for this.
Yeah.
Man, I am so ready for this.
I
How y'all
love it.
doing today?
Hey, we're doing great, my man. We're so glad that you're here with us, you and your lovely bride, Ann. And we're all here at the Airbnb. We're working together as a team.
Yep.
And, last night, Ann and I were sitting in the car. We were waiting for everybody to go back into the second supermarket, pick up something. And she just told me, she says, I've been with Emmerson on a lot of trips, but she says, this trip here, I just have a great gut feeling about this. And that's the same kind of feeling that we're all experiencing.
Right.
And Emmerson, that is the same kind of feeling that we want to be able to generate for people out there in TV land to feel, because you deserve that, don't they, Emmerson?
Yeah, and I've told people over the years, y'all have both heard me say this, and a lot of your viewers have too on some of the shows that I've done with you, but nobody does anything until you feel it's the right thing to do.
Ooh.
And give you all the facts and all the features and all the reasons and logic, but until you feel it's right, you're not going to do it. And if you do, you're going to have some kind of remorse afterwards, or be second guessing yourself or kicking yourself. But once you feel it's the right thing to do, there's a peace that comes over. And right in line with what you were saying earlier that we talked about is always having something bigger than yourself. If you have a business, bigger than your business, bigger than your bottom line, something that takes that stands in a value. And to be willing to stand in a value so much that if it turns people off, that's okay. Pick something that is a purpose that's bigger, and let people know that. I tell people and tell clients, I'm not talking about putting a barrel in your waiting area and saying if you bring in a can of beans, you get 10% off on Thursday or something like that. I'm talking about being all in. And one of the things about veterans, and as some of your viewers know, and you mentioned before that years ago, I did a project with veterans of foreign wars, and it involved American Forest, which is the oldest nonprofit conservation group in the country. We had trees from Eisenhower's birthplace, and we set it up so that the posts all over the country, thousands of them, were able to have a tree planting ceremony and have the mayor and have the newspaper and bring some attention to the veterans who were dying at that time, the World War II veterans, at the rate of about 4,000 or 5,000 a week, I think it was.
Right.
And we generated over 3,000 media events doing that. But the purpose was higher. Now, that particular campaign, we brought in Walmart to work with the post in each one of the Walmart locations. The idea that you can reach out to veterans and let them know that you have their back now that they're home.
Because they sure have had our back.
They've had our back. But this isn't even a political thing. I don't have to agree with if we're in a conflict, why we're in a conflict, what it's really all about, who's making money. The thing is, the men and the women who are on the front line, they're not having politics and theory and stuff attacking them. They're having deadly weapons attacking them.
Right.
And they're doing that because we've asked them to as a country. We don't even have to agree with it, but they're still on that front line, and they still have not just the risk of life and limb there, but dealing with the things you were talking about, Jim, when they come home, dealing with the inner demons, or as you did in coming back from NAM, dealing with the political attitudes that had shifted and morphed in the hate, the vitriol and the hatred and the anger and the name calling. And the thing is, when you're over there, wherever there is, you don't have the option of just saying, I thought this, I've changed my political party, so I'm gonna go home tomorrow because I don't support this.
Right.
That's not it. You're there. We've asked you to be there. Mm-hmm. So, to me, the veterans deserve to have that level of acceptance and gratitude and support, as much support when they come back. Mm-hmm. If we're willing to spend billions or trillions or whatever for them to be over there, wherever there is, when they come back, we need to be willing to be here for them.
Right.
Absolutely.
So that's why these things are so important to me.
Absolutely.
And I'm hoping that the people who are viewing, that it's important to you too. Yeah. Because one of the things we're going to do right here, they don't even have to wait for the concert, do they, Jim? We're going to have a couple of links today, aren't we? Where they can actually, the VFW Foundation and some of the programs that are there.
Oh, my goodness.
Show your support.
Well, what I'd like to say is that with this live stream, that messages of inspirational stories that we are basically producing, that 70% of all net proceeds are going to the VFW Unmet Needs program.
Yes, and just remember Marty Haggard, VFW.com. We got the information there.
Right.
Yes.
You can see what's going on. Yep. And if you're a veteran, just get in touch with Donna and I. We'll be more than happy to give you a promo code there for a discount. Our email is simply messages. That's our website. Here we go. InspirationE360TV.com. And we got all these little things here I got to read to go through. So,
And call your family, let them know, tell them to go in there and do it. Make sure, the more people that are on that and stream that and see that and then take action, the better.
Yeah.
The more,
the better,
the more we can help.
We all owe them.
Right.
Yeah.
And it takes a village. It takes a village. So let's come together and be that village.
Yeah, because silent America, the silent majority, as they're very well known, this gives them an opportunity to say, hey, I can support the veterans. I can make my stand. And guess what? You'll be joining forces with people like Emmerson Brantley, Donna and Marty Haggard, and me. Because Marty on the TV show and on this here, he was more than happy to make sure that 70% of the net profit goes directly to the VFW. There's one stipulation. They got to tell us, do we make the check out to the veterans of foreign wars? Do we make it out to the VFW Foundation or what? That's a nice problem for them to have. But 70% of those net funds are going to go to them. Just remember Marty Haggard, VFW.com, because we're going to be doing a lot of things there in the future. Right now, we got that one event. And I just like to say,
let your friends, let your family know.
Yeah.
Let email it to your list or post it on your Facebook,
yeah,
and get the more eyeballs that see it,
Mhm.
the more your impact will be
Right.
yes,
on changing the lives
yeah,
of veterans. And something that's troubling to me, Jim. We don't script any of this. So, so one of the things that's troubling to me is, a lot of places don't want to have homeless. There's big homeless problems. They're having to clear out homeless camps and all of this. A significant percentage of the people who are out there homeless are people who, like our friend that you were describing,
Mhm.
they've they've given their all and then they've lost it all.
Mhm.
They've lost family. They've lost, the place they could stay.
Mhm.
They don't, the work that they had isn't there, or they just don't fit in with
Mhm.
they can't.
Yeah.
A friend of mine who came back from the Middle East,
Right.
if a car backfired,
Oh,
he'd be a quivering mess, and you'd have to help him up and get him over to a place where he could sit down.
Mhm.
And those of us here that can jump when a car backfires and not have that happen, we need to realize what a blessing that is,
yeah,
Right.
because that's something he has to never know when it's going to happen.
Right.
oh, yeah,
And then we expect them to just come home and, hey, I just want things to get back to normal.
yeah,
That's not the normal. Or how many of us know people or have heard of people who grandpa or my dad or whatever, he never talked about the war. Well, what do you think that means when they're holding it in? From years ago, right?
yeah,
So all I'm saying is compassion and gratitude and recognizing the value.
Mhm.
yeah,
Well, and
We
I
make
think
a
it's
difference.
important to also talk about the fact that for those who don't know, that the VFW does so much.
Oh,
Okay, so they have scholarship programs. They have
Yes.
the unmet needs program.
yes.
When you become a member, you also get qualified for um, additional services to help combat mental stress.
Mhm.
That's a
Yeah.
huge one, right?
Mhm.
So that's out there. There are so many programs
Mhm.
that the VFW will help our vets with.
Mhm.
And so, we are proud as punch to be able to help our vets.
Right.
And this isn't, billions of dollars,
Mhm.
but it doesn't matter because it takes one step, guys. One step,
Mhm.
one click of the button, and we
Yeah.
can all help.
Yes, absolutely. One thing I like to add too is that notice how we have been talking about the VFW. How can we help our veterans? You see how we have blended our cause in to be bigger than us. There's a lot of people out there that's struggling with their business, and that is a principle that you can apply in your business.
Mhm.
Because most businesses, as Emerson put it, you go into a corporation when he's a marketing guru. He's our director of marketing here at the TV show. But a lot of, okay, what do we have to sell? How can we get our message out to our demographics? It's all about them. And see, with us, there's going to be a lot of people out there who resonate with us and with our cause, with our veterans here. And those are our kind of people.
Mhm.
I mean, because when you think about, any war that's ever been won by any country around the world, the politicians didn't fire one single bullet. Okay.
Right.
The only thing they did was order their veterans and our veterans to war.
Yep.
And a lot of people wonder, well, why don't the government take care of our veterans? I want you to listen to this very, very closely because this is a big part of our cause. A lot of times you may hear on the news about the House Ways and Means Committee. What does that mean? I don't know. But you know what? That is what's called a tier 1 priority within our government.
Mhm.
I don't know what else is on tier 1. I don't know what else is on tier 2, but the VA and the VFW And all veterans, they're tier 3, which means they're sucking hind tit, as the old saying goes, excuse the expression, but they're not
That was a
hind,
marketing term.
yeah. And they need to be able to keep pecking at them and pecking at them and pecking at them and pecking at them. With the benefit here, using the power of the TV show, we can start educating people, and we're asking you to forward this to others, share this TV show with others,
Yes.
and be able to get the words out, because the last thing, listen up, the last thing that a politician wants, especially the ones that are not really anxious to help the veterans or pay bills to the veterans, they don't want you to be educated. They want you to remain in the dark like a mushroom and be, you know how, what it takes for mushrooms to grow and be fed that.
Well, the foundation, and there are a number of good veterans organizations, and the VFW is just, we're working with them, and they began after the Spanish-American War, and they began to help provide for these veterans some of the promises that have been made for them. And you can flash forward into the 1920s. So after World War I, after the Spanish, the great flu epidemic that took place that just devastated over 50 million people worldwide, and the Roaring Twenties coming about. Well, for veterans, it wasn't always roaring. They were having to march in the streets in Washington and having police on horseback cracking their heads because they were just trying to get the benefits that have been promised to them after serving in the trenches in World War I.
Right.
So it's easy to forget.
And we've come a long way, though, Emmerson. We've come
a long way. VFW came about because of that.
Right. And we've come a long way, but we're still not 100% there.
Right.
So
and there's still that out of sight, out of mind that we have to deal with.
So when we can stop talking about the 22 a day, and it gets down to, how about 0? How about 0? Then we've all made a huge difference.
Yes.
Because you know what? That old saying, you know, some gave some and some gave all, but every veteran gives all. They give their all when they're there. So we need to be behind them and support them in the best possible way that we can.
And that's the suicides we're talking about.
Yes.
Young veterans, suicide. So, you know, the way that I come at it, of course, being a marketer, I come at it sometimes with, it's a legal argument called reductio ad absurdum, but it's basically reducing it to the absurd. So 22 a day are taking their own life. Okay. How many would you like to take their life every day? Would 10 be okay? Could we get it down to 10? Would 10 be good? If you'd be happy if it was 10 a day? No, we want it to be 0.
Right.
These aren't statistics. These are people. And statistics live in spreadsheets and are crunched in numbers. These are lives. These aren't just the life of that person. It's the life of their family, of their parents, of their children, of their spouse, of the empty seat at the table, of the impact they can have. Were they the ones who could have discovered the cure to cancer if they'd gone back to school on the GI Bill? Are they the ones that could have solved this issue or that issue, or created new prosthetics, or whatever your imagination wants to go to? It's a person, and that person has value, and that person has had some of their of who they are damaged, hurt, impacted, and they didn't ask for that. The possibilities of us when we come together is exponential.
Oh, yeah.
It's exponential. And that means for the younger viewers that the sum of it all is greater than if you just add up all the parts.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? So exponential isn't about growing 5% a year. It might be growing 5,000% a year, or changing in that kind of a number that is exponentially greater than what you can just do with with pluses and minuses.
Oh,
That's what you are. And that's what each and every one of these veterans is. And we can make an exponential change. That story that you told, there were two things in that stand out to me. The moment the universe had it happen or whatever, that his fiancée was at the door.
Mhm.
If she'd been there 5 minutes later, that's an exponential change in the course of his life because of that one little thing. And then the letter that had come that day, that letter created everything in his life from beyond that.
No,
is-
well, Chris says that it was the catalyst
The catalyst.
change,
it gave him his
and it
life.
gave him his life and hope. And
Yeah.
he felt it was such a monumental, absolutely life-changing moment for him
Mhm.
that he knew how it felt. And he has no choice but to be a part of it, of the VFW, and to help others. And he'll tell you, if I can help one person, just one vet, then I've done my job.
Yeah.
It's,
what I
it's paying it forward.
Yeah.
Right.
What I admire about him, he's got the courage to share
Right.
his story with others. Think about how valuable his story is. His story is so special, it cannot be squelched.
Right.
That's why the cause of what we're doing is bigger. And I'm just sitting here because I know Marty Haggard. We all know Marty Haggard. Marty he's a down-to-earth, good old-fashioned country boy.
Right.
He loves his dad. He loves his music, and he
Loves his
It's real.
Oh yeah, he loves this country. And being on the TV show, he donated his time. And listen to this. We pre-recorded the show on Tuesday afternoon because Marty was going to be in Wichita, or I think it was Wichita he was at, performing on the Saturday night the show was going live.
Right.
So we had to pre-record it. But 2 days before, on Easter Sunday, lightning hit his house, fried everything electronically.
Yep.
But he would not miss that show, even though this was just donated time for him. He had his wife get out an old computer. They fired it up. He had some Wi-Fi issues, but he was there.
Well, Marty even said on the show when we had it that that laptop was with the Last Supper.
Yeah.
It was so old.
Yeah. And what I'm really looking forward to, and we're doing a live event tomorrow, and be sure and check out martyhaggardvfw.com. It's going to be here in Tomball at Main Street Crossing. It's going to be the venue. We're looking forward to that. But Chris Blevins and his wife is coming up. They're driving 3 hours to meet Marty.
Right.
Yes.
And I wrote him a letter and I says, send him an email and I says, be prepared for the unexpected. Marty just may, in between songs, look over and say, Chris, come up here. Let me introduce you to Chris. I mean, he's that freelance.
Yeah.
He goes with the emotion.
Mm-hmm. He goes with the energy.
And the energy that comes at times like that, if you're looking to make the right decision, get out of your mind, get into your heart, let the energy flow, because the energy comes from a much higher source than you or I or anybody else on planet Earth.
But we can all make that difference.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's what this is about. That's why we're in Tomball.
Mhm.
That's why Gaia flew in from Ohio. I flew in from Arizona. Emerson flew in from Florida. I drove an hour to get here. He drove a whole hour, folks. I know, and he was exhausted.
But he came from, he had to cross a whole country
Yeah.
because Texas is a whole nother country.
Right. But we're here for a purpose. We're here to make a difference for our vets. And so, if it calls on your heart to help a vet, and you love good country music, you love Merle Haggard.
Oh.
I always tease Marty. I say, Marty, with all due respect to your mama, I don't think she birthed you. Because he is a spitting image of Merle. He is a spitting image of Merle. But you know, if it calls on your heart, oh my gosh, click.
Yeah.
And let's help the vets together, and let's enjoy some incredible music and some fun times.
Yeah, just going, just getting a ticket. I call them tickets, but anyway, registering and getting and attending and just streaming it will be
Yeah.
supporting the vets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you
exactly.
can get double duty. You can enjoy a great show, hear some great stories, and
Oh.
you'll be supporting
Oh,
our vets.
Marty's stories are so fantastic, and I know there's a lot of books out there about his dad, but would you believe all those authors who have written books about his dad have never once, as in never, never, ever once, contacted Marty? Marty was named after Marty Robbins. He's been on the road with his dad since the age of 8. He was there when Marty wrote all those great #1 hits.
Merle.
Merle wrote all those #1 hits there.
One of them words.
Well, she said he spit an image, so I got confused.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have them.
Yeah.
I have them.
It's one of them M words, and they both have vowels. I understand.
Right.
Yep.
There's an A and an E and an I and an O and a U somewhere.
Oh my God. But he was there, and see, no one, if you're an author and you're going to write a book about Merle Haggard, wouldn't you want to go to Marty and say, hey?
Right.
Because Marty knows all those great stories, how his dad went from the jailhouse to the White House
To the moon.
He'll probably tell that story live. So
We might just have to be the ones to pull that one
I don't
together.
know.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Once in a while.
Jim, we might just have to be the ones who pull that book project together.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
You bet. Yeah. We can
and,
do
that. And now that voice will be heard.
Yeah, because his stories are so unique, and a lot of people do not realize this was a great, great thing that his dad did. His dad kickstarted the career of Glenn Campbell.
Absolutely.
And to do that, Glenn was a friend of his. He was a studio musician. He sang harmony and all those great hits.
Mm-hmm.
And he had this song. He was with Capitol Records like Merle. And look how this cause is bigger than Merle now, okay? And he says, Merle, I got this record. Campbell's not really doing anything with it.
They're not promoting me.
Yeah. And he asked Merle, would you listen to it? Merle said, sure. And so Glenn played the record. And Merle said, that's a hit. That's a smash hit.
Right. That's a #1 hit.
That's a #1 hit. He said, why not? Can you help me? And Merle said, sure. They're in Bakersville, California. And Merle told Glenn, go back to LA, where he's from, bring me 2,000 copies of that single. He says, I'm going to be cutting out a record here in about a month. And he said, I will drop your record in with mine because I still, listen up to entrepreneurs, I don't wait on Capitol Records to promote my records, even though at that time he was a big star. He had multiple #1 hits.
He was at the top of the game.
Yeah, him and Johnny Cash, they were.
Johnny and Willie and.
Yeah,
we had what, 40 of them or more?
He had more than 40 #1 hits because like Silver Wings was never released.
It was a B record.
It was putting the album just as a filler.
Mm-hmm. It was a B record that flipped and went #1.
And then I was watching a movie about 2 weeks ago, Jim, and there's Merle Haggard being shown in the movie singing a song.
Yes.
That never was put on an album, never was put on a single, and it was a great song, what you could hear of it, and it was like, man, how many more songs are out there like that?
Mm-hmm.
Marty estimates that his dad had at least 50 #1 hits, even though Wikipedia only says he only got like 40, but see, they only list the ones that were actually released.
Right. As a #1.
Yeah.
As the A side.
Yeah. And anyway, so Glenn Campbell comes over to Bakersfield, and Marty and Merle and Bonnie Owens, Merle's wife, and one or two others, they packaged all these 2,000 see records going out to the country and western stations across the United States. And inside of each one, Merle Haggard wrote a handwritten note to the DJ. Please give this record a spin and let it stand up. Let the public decide, because Merle had the attitude, and a lot of, including Johnny Cash, they had the attitude, hey, every singer needs to be heard. There's room for all of us.
Well, that's just it. There's no scarcity.
Rising tide lifts all boats.
Yeah. And the song just took off. In fact, the song, I started loving her again today, was a song that went out with Glenn's song.
By the time you get to Phoenix.
By the time I get to Phoenix.
Yep.
But that song by Glenn Campbell, was number one, of course, and it became record of the year. And Merle's song, the day I started loving you again, it was number two, even though it was on the country chart, but it finished 1 and 2. Imagine that. Inside that one little sleeve, 2,000 records, there was 2 number 1 hits, record of the year, and the runner-up.
Right. But you know, that's the beautiful thing, is that when you help somebody, whether they're in the same field with you or not, but especially if they're in the same field with you, there is enough business for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Because not everybody is going to be your ideal client. Not everybody is going to like you, and that's okay.
Yep.
Not everybody you can help. So it's an 80-20 rule, right? Get rid of the 80% that aren't going to work for you, that you're not going to jive, and then concentrate on this 20%.
Yep. There's 7 or 8 billion people in the world. You can't serve them all.
There's going to be 1 or 2 out there for
all.
everybody.
Coca-Cola can't. They're not going to all like Coca-Cola. Some like Pepsi. So you know what? Hey, get picky. Pick and choose the ones who share your values. Pick and choose the ones who resonate with you. Pick and choose the people that you want to be working with and spending time with. And you know what? Let the others, so often, and people do this in their private life, but more often, since I work and consult with so many companies on their marketing, I see it there. It's what my mother used to say, get all you can and can all you get.
Right.
You know, we need more traffic. We need more customers, you know, and it's like, no, what you need, the word that you use there, Donna, you need more of those ideal clients.
Right.
At 80-20, stop putting 80% of your focus on all these people.
Because you're spinning your wheels.
20% of the results, and start putting 50, 60, 70, 80% of your focus and effort on that number, that small number that's bringing you the bigger results.
Right. Yeah. Well, not only that, but if you work with people who share your values, no matter what it is you do, and share your integrity, guess what? They will share you.
Oh, yeah.
To their friends, to their business associates. They will share you because it resonates with them.
It resonates.
That is the balance of the energy.
Yeah. It's just like if you had, if there are 2 insurance agents, I like to use this, and both of them sell automobile insurance, and everybody needs automobile insurance. And this person here advertises, I'm an insurance salesman. I offer this, I offer that, I offer the other. And another insurance salesman has a cause that they support and believe in. And it's you resonate with that. Which one of the insurance agents would you refer?
Right. The one with the cause.
When you take the values, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about standing in value.
Right.
And we're talking about associating with people and sharing the value. It stops becoming just about the money.
Oh, absolutely.
It stops becoming about, well, this one over here is 10 cents cheaper. It stops becoming about all the little nitpicky little things, because there's a higher level. Maslow, there's a pyramid, and there are lots of different psychological things over the years, thousands of them. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is one that I always look at, because it starts with the most basic needs of all, food, clothing, shelter, right? And it moves right on up: safety, security, emotional, connection, all the way up to the transcendental needs, right? Reaching the universe is to use the terminology that's been used here a few times. So there's this pyramid. Well, most people and most businesses really just kind of stay down there on those more basic kind of level things. We get uncomfortable, and religion and politics kind of, the thing is, the more levels that I connect with you on, right, the more we're resonating together, the more I understand your values and I relate to your values and I trust those values. I'm not as worried about 10 cents here or a nickel there. I'm not as worried about if I refer somebody to you, are you going to mistreat them? Are you going to treat them with dignity? Are you going to treat them with respect? Am I going to be embarrassed because I sent someone to you and then they come back and they're angry with me? I'm not worried about all of that stuff, because we're resonating and we're doing it on all of these different levels.
Amen.
When we get that in our head and stop worrying about, like I said again, the get all you can and can all you get. How many more can I get in the door or on my website, or how many more can I close? And I start thinking in terms of the people and those connections, all the other stuff starts happening.
Well, when people are looking at the scarcity, that they're, oh my gosh, I have more than the next guy. Okay. So that, first of all, is silly. Okay. Let's just be square about it. It's totally silly, because again, there is enough for everybody. And when you are in that scarcity mentality, the only person, there is no competition. No. Except for yourself. But if you're worried about that, it's going to be harder to get where you need to go. Right?
And the secret there is, if you're not seeing and thinking and talking and feeling and transmitting, if competitiveness isn't part of your DNA, as far as worrying about competition, that scarcity, what happens is your market starts to see you without competition. But it has to start with you. And because that change, if it doesn't start, here's why. I mean, this isn't all metaphysical kind of stuff. If I have that in my head, it comes out in my messaging that I'm sending out to people. And when I don't have it in my head, when I clearly understand my value and I'm standing in my value, then I'm speaking and I'm conveying that out to the market.
Right.
Right? That's where the resonance comes in.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing it. They stop seeing it as competition. And by the way, competition can be anything. It can be a book in a bookstore. It can be a lot of different things. So we have to get out of that mindset of competition. I'll be quiet now.
That's okay. I mean, I may ask myself a question. Would I rather do business with an individual, regardless of what the business is, that maybe it's a little bit more expensive because I know this individual's character, their morals, their values, their ethics, their cause, or I can buy the same type of product or service from this other person who's only interested in buttering his own bread. I don't know what his cause is. I don't know where he stands. He's a little bit cheaper. Which one would I want to choose to do business with?
Right.
I want to contribute positive things back in society. That's what we need to do. You want positive results in your life?
Do positive things.
Sow positive seeds. That's
right.
Because what you sow, you're going to reap.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And when you do that, because you stand in your integrity, it's a ripple effect. Okay. So it's an energy synopsis that trickles throughout the whole universe. And that truly is what we need more of. To create that love and that energy and standing in, in the good things that we want in our life. And again, that's why we're here in Tomball, Texas.
Yeah. And I got to give a shout out again to our good friend, Mr. Marty Haggard. We're going to be with him tomorrow night, and we're going to be meeting with him and his wife, lovely bride, Tessa. Have the privilege of meeting with them. Let me say that. And for Marty to say, hey, whatever you guys want to do is fine with me.
Right.
Because all he wants to do, he wants to play his music, but he
Right.
wants to be a blessing in disguise not in disguise, but be a blessing to others. And he says, I don't know how to do that, but we do. And that's why we're here. It's a team effort. And you've got to find a good team for you that resonates with the same type of thinking, the same type of cause, the same type of morals, values, and ethics. We use that word a lot because that's the foundation you build it on. And how can you generate,
Right.
by working together, energy to bless a cause that's much bigger than you? That is the road to success. So many people are worried about how they're going to buy the groceries and pay the rent. Well, you're focused on yourself.
Well, and you can have fun doing it. Get a ticket, downstream, stream this show.
Right.
We'll be having fun doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Have a Haggard party at your house.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Have a
Make
Haggard party.
everybody buy their own ticket because the money's going, the
Yeah.
proceeds are going to go to the VFW.
Yeah. 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 Invite them over to your house, buy one ticket, and so we'll put it on the big screen TV, and I'm going to charge you, just $10 a piece. Come on and watch it.
And put on your hat.
There you go.
Boots.
Yeah. Show them that bolo tie, because some of these young buckaroos and ladies out there don't know about that bolo tie. They probably haven't seen one. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it has been a pleasure. We are just about out of time, Jim.
Oh, we are.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Emerson, thank you for joining us. We are so excited that you're
Yes, ma'am.
with us.
Mhm.
And, this has been fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It really has. And, they're such fine people. We only had 4 bedrooms, 5 people staying here, and they made sure I had a nice, comfortable, cot out in the garage. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It brought tears to his eyes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean,
It wasn't that hard. We just put that board between those 2 chairs that were in storage out there. Threw a blanket over it.
we hope you're having fun like we're having fun. And that's one of the wonderful things about trying to bless others. When you know that you're headed down the right path, your focus is on blessing others, you're going to be happy.
Right.
Now, let me ask you a question. How would you like to feel happy today? Deep down inside, feel joy and jubilee and not feel stressed and worried. Find your cause.
Right.
There you go.
Find your cause. Whatever it might be, it doesn't have to be anything big. Helping someone else in their hour of need. That's a worthy cause.
Right.
Emerson, thank you so much for being with us, brother.
Thank you, Emerson.
You bet. Yeah.
Thank y'all.
We couldn't have done it without your hat and your bolo tie. You were
Wow.
the show. And Donna only had to hit me twice to, get me to hush up and pay attention.
Well, I pinched your leg once. So
Oh, did you?
stop that.
Oh, is that what
Was
that
it
blue
good
mark
for you?
is? Yeah. Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you tomorrow. We're looking forward to being with Mr. Marty Haggard tomorrow night, be sure and check out Marty Haggard, VFW.com, because in the futures we do more things with Marty. That's the go-to website.
Yes, indeed.
And look us up on Eventbrite. Just look up Marty Haggard. He's playing on tomorrow night. So that is the 5th at the Main Street Crossing.
Yeah, he sure is. Yeah.
We are so excited. We are so excited. So, be sure to look that up, get your ticket, and, enjoy some great music. And let's all put our helping hands together and help our vets.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a blessing because it's an opportunity. It's a great opportunity for us to give back. And it's also a great opportunity for you to find those that you can help in your hour of need.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Stream the show and help a vet.
There you go. There you go. And be sure and go to the website there. The information's there about Marty's event. And we'd love to have you join us.
Absolutely.
Most importantly, as we like to close every show, we hope and pray that you and your family and loved ones are healthy and happy and safe. We also hope and pray that you are blessed. You and your loved ones are blessed in all areas of your life. Donna and I will be back tomorrow.
Yep.
And we're looking forward to you being with us. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye, folks. You have to
I have to hit the button?
You have to.
Which button you want me to hit?